All right. To everyone on the line, welcome again to the 2022 Subway ACC Football Championship Game Zoom Sunday teleconference press conference. We're joined by North Carolina head coach Mack Brown. Tar Heels 9-3 overall, 6-2 in the ACC, and our champions of the Coastal Division. Coach, we could start with an opening statement, and then we'll take questions.
Thank you, Kevin. We're really excited to be playing in the ACC Championship game. It's only the second time for us since divisions were established in 2012. 2015, we actually played Clemson, and Gene Chizik was our defensive coordinator, and Charlton Warren was our secondary coach at that time. But very, very proud of these guys. So they've done something that's only been done two times since we've had division. So proud of them. Also, winning 9 games here is important because we haven't done that except one other time since 1997. So these guys have accomplished a lot. Winning 6 games on the road, having a chance to play a great team like Clemson is something that is very, very important for us. When I got back, I wanted North Carolina football to be relevant again. And we've been to 4 straight bowls, one of those bowls being the Elite Orange Bowl. And then here we are playing Clemson in the
Coach, I'm not sure what happened. I think something might have happened to the mute button.
Got it now.
There we go. We're back.
There we go.
Sorry about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't touch it, Kevin, so I'm not sure.
Technology.
It's kind of the way my weekend's gone.
Probably on my end, but okay. Sorry.
Part of it, but proud. I don't know where we stopped, Kevin.
You were talking about making North Carolina football relevant again, 4 straight bowl games.
Yes, 4 straight bowl games, one of those being the Orange Bowl, which we'd never been to, and then getting to the championship game to have a chance to play a national program like Clemson. Clemson's been the standard in the ACC for many years. When I was here before, it was Florida State. Florida State was in the national picture every year. I think Coach Bowden had 14 straight years of being in the top 4. So all the rest of us were second and below, and that's pretty much what Clemson's been. Last year it changed a little bit, but Dabo's done an amazing job of getting his team back this year and being the national picture. I looked at some things this morning because I went through a similar number of years at Texas that Dabo's gone through at Clemson now, and he's 160-30. 37 as the head coach at Clemson, second winningest program since 2015 with 99 wins. He's won 2 national championships. They've appeared in the college football playoff 6 times, 7 seasons with at least 11 wins with a chance at an 8th, and 4 14 win seasons. Just absolutely unbelievable the success he's had. And like I said, all of us are trying to catch him. He's done an amazing job. He's a dear friend of mine. I like the way he does it. He does it with class, and can't wait to compete against him this weekend. It'll be a real fun challenge for our team.
All right. Thank you, Coach. We will now go to questions. If you have a question, please use the raise your hand function, and I'll call on as many folks as we can get to. Our first question is from Trevor Groves. Go ahead, Trevor.
Hey, Coach. The last time you played Clemson, it was an epic game. 2019, Clemson was #1, riding the nation's longest win streak. You went for the 2-point conversion. What do you remember about that game? And was that one of the tougher losses to swallow in your career?
Yes, Trevor, I remember I was proud of our guys. They hung in there and they had a chance to win till the end. A lot of people wondered why I went for 2. We were down 5 starters on defense, and Clemson was a whole lot better than we were. And they had one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. And there was still 1 minute and 19 seconds left. So that game wasn't near over. And I just wanted to put more pressure on them if we could get one up and make them try to get down for a field goal. But Clemson's won a lot of games, and they won a lot of those in the end, and we had our chance and just couldn't close it.
Thank you, Coach. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you, Trevor.
Okay, our next question is from CL Brown. Go ahead, CL.
Hey, Mac, I was just wondering how you go about hitting the reset button for the team after the losses coming into this game.
Yeah, CL, I'm going to see you tomorrow at 11, so we're going to have to rehash all these questions. So you North Carolina guys, if we want to ask all of them today, what we'll do is just not have our press conference tomorrow. That'll be good. We can move forward. You're in a championship game. None of these kids have ever been in this championship game. So they'll be really excited about it. We haven't played Clemson since 4 years ago. I think next year we play them at Death Valley. So and playing Clemson's an exciting thing. It's a great challenge, and they know that they're playing as good a group of athletes as anybody has in the country. So it'll be a fun challenge for us.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, CL.
All right, our next question is from Scott Kiefer. Scott, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Mac, I'm just wondering how you feel about the divisions going away in the ACC. You for it, against it, neutral? How do you feel?
Scott, I was against it. Even if we redesigned them, I thought it was so cool that you can win a division championship. We did the same thing. We had a North and South in the Big 12 when I was there, and then we did away with it when some teams left. And I understood because we only had 10 teams in the Big 12, and everybody had to play against each other. And I didn't like it as much because right now in the Big 12, Saturday, TCU is going to play Kansas State for a second time. And I always thought it's a little awkward playing somebody twice. Normally, when you have divisions, that doesn't happen. So I was one of the few, I think, in the league that voted against it. I didn't mind changing up divisions if you want to change some teams so people get to play different people. But I really like divisions as far as college football is concerned.
Very good. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Okay, our next question is from Deanna King. Go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, there's a lot of North Carolina kids on that Clemson roster. How important is it to play Clemson for recruiting purposes?
I think it's good, Dina. They've beaten us a bunch in recruiting. Most of the guys on our team weren't offered by them. So there's a lot of great players on their team that I've tried to recruit that decided to go down there. And they've got a great program. They are the standard in this league. They've got outstanding facilities. Dabo's done an amazing job. So I get it. But no, we'll be playing against a lot of great players I wish we had gotten.
Okay, our next question is from Sammy Batten. Go ahead, Sammy.
Yeah, Mac, just following up on kind of Dina's question. I mean, Charlotte, both teams have really great players from Charlotte. I mean, is this kind of going to be kind of a sidebar to be a kind of a showcase for high school talent coming out of Charlotte too?
It really is. And playing in Charlotte special for us. And I know it is Dabo because Clemson's not very far from there either. And then next year, our opening game will be with South Carolina in Charlotte. Which was the first game that I had 4 years ago when I was here. So playing in Charlotte special. I've been told it's a sellout. I know those Clemson fans are going to show up, and our fans have been unbelievable the last 2 home games. Thanksgiving's always iffy to know how many people can come, and some of the weather were question marks. And we had a packed house, and the student section was full, and our crowds have been absolutely unbelievable. So I expect them to be the same way on Saturday night.
Our next question is from Evan Abramson. Go ahead, Evan.
Hey, Coach, how's it going? Thanks for taking the time to speak with us today. My question for you is, Clemson obviously has a lot of experience playing in these type of caliber games. You want UNC to get to the point where they're playing in these caliber games as much in the future. Also, with South Carolina beating Clemson, I mean, do you kind of feel like it shows a message that anyone can beat anyone, that there's no reason to be scared?
Evan, we're never scared. You love to play and you love a challenge. And for us, we're trying to take steps in our program. I mean, 4 years ago, we won 5 games in 2 years. And the team we took over had won 2 games and hadn't been to a bowl game in a number of years. So every step that we take is a step closer to North Carolina football being relevant again. And you're one of your goals at the first of the year is to win the Coastal. Another one of your goals is to win the ACC Championship. And so that's what makes this so special for these young guys today. I thank them for getting us to this point. There's only 10 teams that'll play in Power 5 championships this weekend. And they're one of 10 out of 131. So that's pretty cool.
All right, we'll go back to Andrea Adelson. Andrea, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Mac, thanks for doing this. Just curious in the last 2 games, if there's something that defenses have done maybe a little bit differently that have gotten you guys out of rhythm and maybe a little bit more inconsistent on offense.
Andrea, we haven't played as consistently well. We've still, we didn't score many points against Georgia Tech, and that wasn't like us. I think we've gotten impatient. And we're just wanting to. We scored so fast and we scored so much early in the season that the last couple of games people are making us work harder to score points, and we're not doing that as well. So we just got to go back and relook at who we are and start over.
And our next question is from John Blau. John, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Coach, you were mentioning how a lot of the players at Clemson are guys that you wanted, you weren't able to get. I mean, Drake May is a guy that Clemson recruited and you were able to get. I mean, what were you able to pitch him on? What do you think he saw in UNC that made him come to you guys?
John, his whole family's been UNC. When he was growing up, I said it'd be like Archie Manning not going to Ole Miss. I mean, his dad was one of the leading passers in ACC history. His brother won a national championship in basketball. His other brother is here on our basketball team now. Living in Charlotte, he's going to have a wonderful career here. He'll have a great career in the NFL, and then he'll want to come back and live in Charlotte, in my estimation. And you want to go back home. So he's a special player. He's a special young man, and we're sure lucky to have him.
All right, and we'll go back to Trevor Groves. Trevor, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, keeping in that theme, one of the guys you did not get was Will Shipley from the Charlotte area. You recruited him. How much have you kind of followed his career from a distance, and what makes him a special player? What do you have to do to try to bottle him up?
Trevor, like everybody else, we all wanted him. In fact, most of the players at Clemson, we all wanted. So it wasn't just me. And Will's tough. He's fast. I love the way he competes. He's such a great young man. He's got an outstanding family. I got really close to his grandmother. I thought that might be our chance. But I love watching him play. Just the extra yardage he gets, and he stirs people up when he gets in that game. And you love to see a guy that's that talented, but also that competitive, and knowing that he's a wonderful young person.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, our next question is from David Teal. Go ahead, David.
Mac, you and I are old enough to remember Lawrence Taylor. Does LT in 1980 resonate with today's Tar Heels?
Well, LT resonates with everything we do. I wish we'd get the pass rush that he had. David, we're not getting any pass rush, and he got them all. And I know the goal line stand at Clemson. You go back and think about those days, but he was a special player. He actually had him back to a game last year, and he was here and met a lot of our kids, and being one of the greatest players to ever play. He's a guy that a lot of people relate to around here.
But does that 42-year drought, does that get mentioned in your locker room and the opportunity that you have Saturday night to end it?
David, it does, but it's something that we went from the bottom now. You win 3 games in 2 years, and I think 2 of those were Power 5 teams. We've had to start from the bottom and work our way up, and it's really interesting to watch our team. They just love to win, and everything's new for them. So these guys hadn't been to a bowl game. Then we went to a bowl game. Then we go to the Orange Bowl. Then last year was a disappointment. And now this year they found a way to win a lot of close games. And very honestly, David, we're about like everybody in the Coastal. all of our games except Pittsburgh came down to the last drive. And so that's kind of who we are. And they know that. And they know that Clemson's better than the teams that we've played. So they're going to have to play the best game that they've played to have a chance.
Okay, our next question is from Anna Adams. Anna, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, apologies if you already answered this after the game, but any injury update that you could provide? I think you had a couple of guys go out on Friday.
Yeah, Anna, we just came back in today, but because it was a Friday game and we gave them off Saturday. So Jeremy Sharp will have, we got a lot of guys hurt during the game and ended up playing a really young secondary, the second half and fourth quarter. But Jeremy Sharp will have an update before our press conference tomorrow. But we really haven't. The trainers are looking at them and evaluating them today, and they'll give us a report tonight before we go to bed.
Okay, our next question is from David Hale. David, go ahead.
Hey, Mac, appreciate you doing this as always. You mentioned earlier that one of the reasons you came back to UNC was with the hopes of delivering a sense of national relevancy to the Tar Heels program again. This obviously being a big step towards that. How much does that equate into your plans for the future? Would winning an ACC title, would you say, hey, all right, I did it, let's go out on top? Or are you just kind of saying, I'm having fun doing this, I'm going to keep doing it, and sort of where meeting those goals is, where it doesn't matter to you in terms of that decision?
David, they really, obviously they matter but it doesn't in regards to that decision at all. I like winning, losing stinks. I think everybody that lost yesterday, and there were a bunch of them that lost a whole lot of important things yesterday and Friday, would all tell you that it stinks. I just told our team, winning's fun. Thank you for the 9. The others stink. Just part of it. And let's just keep working to get better. But no, I want these kids to be happy. I want them to be learning and growing and having a better life after they get out of here. And that's really the reason that Sally and I came back. But we also want North Carolina football to be relevant again. Larry Fedora did a tremendous job here. He was, the last time we were in this game, he was the reason, and came down to an onside kick and had a chance to win it. But they struggled in the end. And I love this place. I love these fans and the administration, and got so many top boosters that are dear friends of mine for 30 years. So it's unlike most people that are coaching. I'm coaching to help the place and help these kids. And that's why I'm so proud of them, for this university and for these kids. A bunch of these kids were on that 2-10 football team because of the COVID year. We've still got a lot of kids that are fighting through that. So this is a really great opportunity for them to feel good about themselves.
All right, we got a few more minutes. Reminder to use your raise your hand function. I know Sammy Batten, you had a follow-up. You can go ahead. Perhaps we lost you, Sammy. All right, let's go to Lawton Swan with Clemson Sports Talk. Go ahead, Lawton.
Hey, Coach, I'm sure you're just getting prepared for the Tigers, obviously, but have you seen any crossover film on this team, and what you have seen of them, you know, what might give you some concerns going into the matchup on Saturday night?
Lawton, they run the ball so well. You know, the quarterback's so big and strong, and he's lost weight from last year and looks much more athletic. And you get he and Will Shipley back there. They're always good in the offensive line. They've always got the big, tall receivers that can make plays. So that's who they are. They've been running this offense forever, and they're really, really good at it. And you look at defensively, they're as good as anybody in the country. I mean, their defensive front, those guys every year, they just rotate them. They all look great. They look like what the rest of us want to be like and get like in their defensive front seven. They've always got skilled people in the back end, but again, you look at their defensive line, and it's hard to. We've struggled the last 2 weeks offensively. It's hard to figure out how you'd make some yards.
All right, Sammy, I see you on there. We'll try you one more time.
Yeah,
Did we
can you
hear
hear me now, Mac?
Yeah.
Yes, Sammy.
Yeah, Mac, I was just wondering, has the talent pool in the Charlotte area gotten even deeper since your first time around at UNC?
Sammy, absolutely. And I think but we had 29 million people in the state of Texas. And there's a lot more people in this state and specifically Charlotte than there were when I left. But now there's great players in Charlotte every year, and it's a hotbed, and everybody in the country can fly in there. So they're all very, very highly recruited, but they're well coached. The population is such that there's so many great players there. And that's why I love playing this game in Charlotte. And I love opening up next year with South Carolina and Charlotte, because we'll have a lot of the locals that are coming. But we're signing more and more Charlotte kids each year. And really and truly, Sammy, we had some when we were here before, but not near as much as we have now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, we'll let Coach Brown go. Coach, thanks for joining us this evening, and we'll see you on Friday.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate what you all do to follow college sports, and we'll see you on Friday.